Alright, this is what you call content maxing. Hold on. We haven't maxed out yet. We haven't maxed out yet. Game capture. Display capture? Which one is it? Window capture? No, there's no way it's a window capture, bro. It must be game capture. Specific. There we go. Are you? No. No, why not? Why are you not showing? My tweak. Why this not working? They don't want me to content max. Okay. I'll do it the window way. Alright, this is absolute content maxing. We're just gonna do this. Don't ask any questions. Fuck, let's do this one. New game, that shit, bro. I don't even remember what I was cooking. I have this here. Well, this is here. Okay, yeah, okay. Just watch it like normal. It's nighttime. Should probably still rock with those guys. These are free. Is there a pool? I'm assuming there's a pool. So I guess I need that. I got an upgrade. Fume shrooms might go. I could probably live with just this. Alright. Oh fuck, I locked out. Okay. Genuinely nothing happened. Did I miss a sunflower? I'm content maxing too hard. Hold on, let me pause this one. To my one viewer who's probably just my phone. Alright, we're content maxing. Let me make sure my audio works. Alright. Let me restart this level and let me do it properly. In 1 second. Okay. I've now come to the realization that I don't know if you can hear the sabo gameplay. But Okay, so I'll just make this. I should just lower the volume on this. And now I'll go check my own Twitch stream. Show me the video. Oh, you shouldn't have resized it, you fucking idiot. No? Okay. Hold on. Got a little adjustment. Okay. Leave that there. Add source. Location audio. You should be able to hear it, right?
I mean, like, dumbass.
If I on stream, it'll fucking load.
Dumbass.
If I on stream, it'll fucking load. Alright.
Okay.
Alright, this time we're
we
actually
have our
gonna
own
walk
Gambit
the
ult. Did we use it better? We held it properly. Nice.
Give me all the important ones.
Okay, we live. I have to wait.
Yeah, sure. Oh, fuck. Need to do like that so that I can bottom the chat at the same time.
Cap, pick a different character.
Oh,
Cap, pick a different tank. 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 Bro, we need DPS. What are these players doing? Cat, pick a different tank.
Cat, pick a different tank.
I'm calling my government.
Fuck, is the mushroom the play, bro? Or does I have no patience?
Cat needs to pick a different cap. Okay, that was good. Ouch, that was not good. Holy fuck, that was terrible. That was really lucky. He's back up. I mean, like, you're taking out a me, not a rogue. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Sorry, I wanted to be able to read the shags.
This guy brainless? Why is he like face checking Thor and shit? Oh my god, I did the same thing that he did. Actually, we have 3 healers. Don't actually know why, like, we're not playing like that. We're not even going to the point, bro. Fuck it, bro. I'm gonna send it to the point, bro. I gotta make a play because my teammates are just, like, allergic. You guys not even paying attention?
That's solid. There we go. This is
Holy shit, I'm retarded.
maxing.
I think I have teammates. Okay?
Yo, chill, bro. Just put that motherfucker.
You got hit by that somehow? Okay, I held alt.
Damn, bro. You have to
Fuck, bro. Pick a different cap.
swallow
Pick a
him
different
like that,
tank.
bro. Pick a
Yeah,
different
bro.
cap.
The only tank I can play that does that is
Kevin
fucking Venom.
Shambles, bro.
Okay, we need to just straight up win.
To win, but that's a crazy idea.
Fuck it, YOLO.
Lock in, lock in, lock in. Don't need to worry about all that.
Okay.
Don't even worry about all that.
Gambit?
Gambit.
Cap is AFK, or Tony Stark is AFK?
Cap is AFK. Yo, chill,
Cap,
bro.
pick a different tank.
You guys know why?
I mean, I don't need to play dive Captain America. But, like, bruh.
Yo, where the fuck did this guy come from? Oh shit. Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down. Okay. What's the plan here?
That was really bad for me. Holy shit.
Okay, nothing serious. These guys need that, need that, need that, need that, need that. What do you do? You just do fog.
Oh, shit.
Probably will need it at some point.
Fucking Juice WRLD start playing shit?
Okay. Alright, we'll rock with that, I guess. Y'all think Sabota's gonna win? Hot sex in chat? Yo, I do not have that that command, unfortunately. What am I cooking?
Another method.
Yo, Guggen, you think Sabo's gonna win his rank
What
game,
the fuck
bro?
are these guys doing, bro?
Streamlabs are yo. If they have that capability, bro, let me know how to. What kind of brain rot is this? Yo, I told you I'm content maxing, bro. AK, I'm waiting for someone to join me to play Marvel Rivals while I watch Sabo play competitive, so you can get to a rank that I can play with him at. Other than that, you know. Hey, Streamlabs jerk Amidov. But don't you have like shit to do? Like a job and shit, bro? Oh, this guy's just copying his messages, bro. Yo, call DDG, bro. He'll stop that, bro. Tell him to gotta check in at Pontiac. Tell him to gotta check in Pontiac, bro. But these cattails are cooking.
How are they contesting this?
Doesn't Guggen have like a PS5 though?
Can Al Qaeda Fist like you do something in this game?
Alright, it's time to lock in. Oh, you only have a PS4? Yeah, like, you can't play this game on PS4, but that's cooked. Unfortunately. You got a new gaming
Cap, can
laptop
you,
set up
pick a
right
different
now?
tank?
Oh shit. Oh fuck, I tapped out. What kind of laptop? Which laptop did you get, bro? Who won that?
Cap, can you pick a different tank?
Cap, can you pick a different tank?
Holy fuck, I missed everything.
Let him know.
Oh,
Cap, can you pick a different tank? Y'all think they're winning this? I don't know who's still in my chat, but y'all think this Sabogen team is gonna win? They just gotta get
Cap,
to
pick a different tank. Cap, pick it back. Cap, pick a different tank.
Oh, he's getting alt maxed on right now.
Cap, pick a different tank. Cap. yo, Cap. Do us a favor and like lock in a different tank, bro.
Can y'all hear it? Can you hear the ting?
I mean, like, oh shit, we lost. Can't even get to
Bro, this
hello?
guy's stuck on a fucking
shit,
wall.
we lost.
Oh, it's over. It's so
Play for overtime?
over. Play for overtime, buddy. You just got knocked away. Report. Lucy better receive report, bro. Report Iron Fist. Griefing. Yeah, this guy's not touching gold anytime soon,
Like
is
3
he?
loss streak. I don't know what to do.
What do y'all think he needs to do? Soul diving enemy backline while
This
it's
guy's
in
silver MVP after like killing himself solo 8 times. What? Oh man.
That's actually crazy. He's on a 3-game losing streak. Tell him to
Silver
get
might
good.
be elo hell.
Alright, hold on.
We have a bronze 1 in this lobby.
I'm gonna
Holy
just copy your
shit.
entire message.
Don't care, bro. Fuck you guys. I can't play tank, can't play DPS, never gonna play support. Just. Are we loser skew or like what's going on? Tell him to get good. Yo, I know you're playing console, so you have aim assist, but like this is a real server?
It's a real silver server, bro. Fuck, I cruised through that one. I don't even know what I was doing. Okay, I still need that.
It's like, you know, it's one thing if like Jutton were saying that, you know, like that I can actually respect, you know, like at least Jutton will actually give me like constructive gameplay criticism.
Mm.
Emmett's saying get good, bro. You touch children. Like, why are you talking?
Yo.
Like, you are a predator. Why are you speaking?
He said it, not me. He said it, not me. Emmett, do you want to defend yourself at all?
Emmett doesn't even know that combo, bro. Holy shit.
Emmett, can you hear his stream?
Alright, we have I think this is the same team comp my useless DPS was saying last game to do, right? One dive, one coward. Yo, but Captain America, when are you gonna go different tank? Why did I pick Wolverine into this map? Like, hello? They have a Venom and Captain America. Ouch. I'm already dead.
Alright, I'm assuming you can hear that. I have evidence that you aren't allowed within 20 meters of a school zone.
No one's
You
even
have
healing me and
evidence of that?
shit. Nice.
Yeah, I'll play the
I mean,
middleman
maybe I shouldn't have-
instigator, don't worry.
Ed, what's his fame? What's his name? Punisher? But like, I don't think that matters. Cause like, no one else is even hitting him. What
Bozo to chill, bro.
the fuck is this?
On my screen? Oh shit.
Alright, let's see the evidence, bro. Oh wait, it's gonna be a selfie of yourself.
Give me a selfie of yourself, bro. That's crazy.
What are these players doing, bro?
Yo.
Rappy Taffy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Lady.
You sound sickly.
Yeah. Oh. I think I am sick.
That's sick, bro.
But here I am. Turn up.
Alright, I guess I should
You have to go kill yourself again?
stop. Plants vs. Zombies. Huh?
I had to die so I can like.
Oh, classic.
I don't know if
They got
you,
new
I don't know if you see
levels
the
or
stream, bro.
Fucking crazy.
This guy. Oh, this guy. Damn, this guy dropped the Instagram chat.
Instagram chat.
I'm retarded for doing that without passwords.
Emmett's instigating. Well, I'm instigating Emmett beefing Sahal, but I'm just copy pasting his messages in my chat to his chat
Oh.
while I was playing
Interesting.
Plants vs Zombies, waiting for someone to join me.
How's this guy full HP?
I'm enough on for that though. Can't rage bait him no more, bro.
Can I bet just get some heals?
Take his time. Oh my god. Wait, am I?
Can my
Are
bitch
you
ass get
what,
some
bro?
heals?
I'm downloading something. I have to stop that.
Yeah, don't do that, bro.
No one's even helping me.
Can't. Ba-da-bop.
I
Haha,
got
King of Comedy, bro.
Pokemon in my Twitch chat now, bro.
Really? How'd you get
it's so
that?
funny, bro.
Bro, you can
Slap. What do you say?
Bato's here.
Like, these guys are like healing the
making
most
money
useless
moves
players
now,
on our
bro.
team.
Make a money.
Damn, no one caught it.
What y'all talking about?
Huh?
You got
It's fucking
Pokemon
King
in
Comedy,
his
bro. What
Twitch
do you want
chat
me to
now.
say, bro? No one's even helping.
Somehow
bro.
that
Does
means
anyone
he's
give a
making
fuck?
money now.
Yeah?
Nah.
Anyone care?
But
Anyone
like,
care?
theoretically. You know?
Oh,
In theory.
shit.
In theory, we're making money
When he
moves.
solo ulted all game.
Yeah.
Theoretical go
I just do this so I can like.
on,
That's
bro.
like that's the shit Einstein was talking about,
Oh,
right?
now you wanna
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we
E equals
losing
MC
points?
squared and the M is for
One
money.
HP, waiting for heals.
Easy.
And the C is for currency.
Mad Moon and currency, bro.
Mad mood and currency.
We lost.
I'm just
Yo,
jumping.
someone's behind us.
I'm just jumping around right now, bro. I can't even lie to you.
Jump around. Jump.
Jump,
Jump.
jump,
Jump. Jump.
I'm gonna die. I'm not attacked.
Alright, hold on. Let me close Plants vs. Zombies.
Did you say close Plants versus Zombies?
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, you missed the first like 20 minutes of this stream, bro.
What was going on?
I was just in the lobby of this
Hook
game
off.
playing Plants vs. Zombies while watching Sabo's ranked
Fuck
games
you,
while he was losing like tremendously.
Well, I can't go
Oh
tank.
And
shit.
then
Yeah,
Guggen
Yeah,
was
yeah, I haven't played
talking
Plants
shit,
vs. Zombies.
and Amit was talking
Oh,
shit
word.
also.
Oh, on your stream?
Oh, how's no one
Alright,
there?
man. Yeah. I'll hit a
I
hook
think
next
they're
game.
gone now.
Pussy.
It's okay, I'm about to lock
If you
in.
were
Alright,
screaming, yeah.
Alright,
No,
MVP
help.
saying to lock in, bro.
Help.
Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, you bitch ass.
Bro, I need a baddie.
Am I tweaking?
Bro, you need to kill yourself. Like, bro, what the fuck are you...
Yeah. Change.
Yo, dumbass, I pressed my Bucky ult when the
No,
healer
not like
ulted.
this, not like this. Black
Are
Panther
you
got
like, are you
me.
like brain
They
dead?
not
What are
like
you even saying?
us.
How do I mute my...
Oh hell no.
Like, do you think before you type? No, I know you don't.
Alright.
Mm.
Yeah, this Daredevil fucking
Yo.
sucks, bro.
The Raptors 905 hit 67 points today.
6.
Is the winning streak still going?
Yeah, 13 and 0, I think.
This guy's rage baiting because
I thought they're already 13-0 before
I
that.
don't know what to say. Oh well, time to get yapped by Punisher.
Oh, the clip
Hey,
was
what
from
gameplay?
from like 2 weeks
Oh.
ago. Fuck.
Playable, I think.
Oh, this nigga not up to date, bro. Give me
Ain't
updated
that awesome
information.
shit?
Oh my god, heal me!
Oh, there's that alt game.
Heal me.
Nice.
I'm having a
My fault,
I'm having a
bro.
Daredevil off,
I
and
don't
I think
keeping
I'm
up
losing,
with
bro.
the Raps 905 like that.
Bro, 905 is the
Are you like
highest
retarded? I have no
best
HP,
thing
no healer.
going
I
for
can't
Toronto
leave.
Sports.
Bruh.
Best team right now.
Not a
I
hostage
mean,
time.
Blue Jays literally just got out the World Series.
Hostage time, guys.
Oh,
What did they
yeah,
win?
Bumble Rasta.
Nah.
So what are we talking about?
Where were you when the Raptors 905 won the G League championship in 2017, 18?
It's not tickling.
Oh, this guy Kyra just went to Sabo's
That
chat,
was
bro.
Fred VanVleet in my life.
Well, first Siakam won Finals MVP. That team was actually stacked. I ain't gonna lie.
Keep spamming FF votes, bro. Yeah.
Acapulco,
Bruh.
Fred VanVleet. And the year after that, it was like
Walk
Chris
into
Boucher's
Blue Metal.
Finals
Are you like
MVP.
retarded?
Mm.
I think you're just a retard, bro. I think
Shout
you're
out my
just a
boy.
retard, man. It's fine though.
You know how crazy it'd be if Siakam ever won a Finals MVP and a G League Finals MVP? That might be like the
Tremendous.
craziest improvement story ever.
I was trying to vote no, but
The G League better celebrate him for that shit,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like rage baiting me and shit.
No, they do. They celebrate him.
Alright, I'm about to lock
Man, you guys are just too good for me, man. Too
right
high
now.
elo.
About to lock in, bro.
It's not a tantrum.
Yeah.
It's just it's a tantrum to call you a
It's
retard.
too
Yeah, sure,
late to
bro.
lock in. It's too late.
It is too late.
Oh shit. Even you?
We're sorry. Flying.
Party rock. Sorry for party rock.
Yeah. Yeah. The
I wonder what
Bobby
Red
Rock.
and
You're
Sky
Looking for your
Royalty
girl,
games,
but
bro.
she on my jock. You know
Goon Rock?
crazy.
Goonrock?
Shout
Yeah, I
out
wonder what
bro.
Goonrock is up
What
to,
you know
bro.
about Goonrock,
Oh,
bro?
yeah, Mr.
What's Goon
Gold
Rock?
One Peak, bro.
You know
Oh, you
who
don't know
Goonrock
about
is?
Goonrock, bro? Oh,
You're not tapped in if you don't know.
I'm not tapped in. I never claimed to be tapped in. Who's
yeah,
Goon
you don't know
Rock?
about the
I have to
party
play tank,
rockers,
otherwise, like,
bro.
these people are just not gonna do anything right.
You don't know about
definitely
party
know
rock
about the
anthem?
party- I do know about the
You can't be a
Rock
party
anthem.
rocker if you don't.
Tank.
You don't know about
Yo, pick a
Goonrock,
different
bro?
tank
You don't know
out,
about
America.
Party Rock, bro.
Like,
Well, who's Goon Rock? Was he the robot?
I mean, the people on my team, like.
If you ever look
emphasis
who
on their,
made
like,
party rock anthem,
overlay,
Goonrock's gonna
and,
be
like,
named on.
as their actual gameplay, then we'd actually win games. But like,
This
it's
is
not
some
possible.
Goon Rock.
It's too hard for them.
Oh, that's Goon. Who the fuck is this?
Oh, you're like first time character.
That's
and shit?
Goonrock, bro. Now you know.
We discovered him on the
Locked in 3
Luigi.
healers, bro. This is definitely gonna be a
Bro.
winnable game.
Oh, the green screen would have been crazy during the Charlie Crick era, honestly.
Buddy,
Oh my gosh.
my peak
I
is
mean,
gold
yo,
too.
the
Your
Charlie
peak
Kirk
is
hair
gold
is still
too.
on, bro.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Diamond.
We're still
AC,
My
bro.
fault, bro. Diamond 1 on console, bro. That means a lot, I think.
I think we just passed like the 2-month
Yeah, man.
mark,
Diamond 1
bro.
on console.
Oh my
bro.
gosh.
Yeah, sure.
The
Means a
6-7
lot to
mark.
me, I think.
670
You're
days
the
mark.
GOAT, brother. You're the GOAT.
Only been 70 days?
Fucking
That's kind of
suck you
crazy.
in my chat.
Yo,
Oh
my
LMFAO, we're
God.
signed to
Holy shit.
makes so much sense.
What did I say to?
Switch to
Well,
people
I
that
am.
might need
No,
it.
you motherfucker.
That
bitch
makes a
ass.
lot of sense.
Switch
That
to people
makes
that
so
are of
much
age.
sense.
You know, you might
That
need it.
makes
Yo,
so much sense.
I miss when hip hop and electronic music was
non-minors,
blended a
bro.
little bit, you
You
know?
need it.
Hey, they be doing that in, over in the UK, man. But the
God.
man them in the UK do that shit.
Do they? Maybe I gotta tap
Yeah.
in, bro.
You be, electronic music be like super little bit. Oh my god, Spider-Man!
Man, them
Spider-Man
this
violated
guy's
Yo, man.
This
Oh my gosh,
asthma
bro.
attacking my mic now. Bro, shut
I
the
hate
fuck-
Spider-Man.
Yo, guys, I did not lock in.
it's all good, bro.
Oh my gosh, who's killing me?
Can I hit anything? Oh, I cannot.
Bro, why is everyone killing? You know what time it is, bro?
Are you moving the point? Or is it AFK?
No, not yet.
Already the Punisher.
Goonrock
What
time?
else- What else could possibly
Oh,
be
shit.
time for? Is it portal time already?
It's not-
Bro? Like,
No, not yet.
Maybe doesn't move the point, bro. Like,
In the club, party, rock,
chat and
looking
shit,
for your girl.
Try
But she
aim this
on my
bottom,
jock.
bottom.
you
You
play
know
full
how crazy
melee.
that
What
is?
That's actually
what
crazy,
aim is
boy.
gonna do to full melee?
That's insane, bro. Like, I would never think of anything.
Oh my
even
gosh,
really close
I
to that.
fucked up.
bro,
I didn't mean
Spider-Man
to
is
fall
on
down.
my cock and ball sack. Oh, buddy. Man, not-
Balls,
Yeah,
bat
look,
team
I think
dick.
It's literal chat GPT, I think, on the enemy team, so it's like looking good for
Bro,
me.
I didn't get the fucking health.
Yeah, bodies, killer. Heal me, you fish, Bati.
Bati fish.
Bati fish.
Balls, bati, and fish.
Well,
The fucking fish didn't heal me, bro.
Okay, at least he's like taking
Oh my
account of all
gosh.
this shit, right?
No, we still captured this one. No, shout out, yo. The team still won, so that's all that matters, you know.
Oh,
Oh
hell
my gosh,
no.
I'm not stepping up there. Nah, no sir.
Whoa there. Oh, I still died?
Oh my god, the
Alright,
fish
Jeff,
is
tell me-
violating me, bro.
We all got hit by that, didn't we?
Bro, why is there so many of them here?
How many are there, bro? Oh shit, that's a lot of them, bro. I'm out. I'm out. Yo, chill, I'm out. Yo, fam, I'm out.
Everything holding up there.
Yo, dog, I'm out. Oh, bro, get the fuck off of me, Spider-Man! Alright, this guy just chased me all the way to spawn. That's tough.
What the fuck is this guy talking
Oh my
about?
gosh, they're
hitting
putting on
one
a show.
shot?
Putting... Oh...
Are you like retarded? Like, oh my god, bro! Like it's actually like
not good,
it's
that's not
actually
good.
like not possible you're typing this shit. Yo, retard! I know you don't know how Venom works. You don't need to aim at.
Kill the other. I'm locked. I'm locked in.
Can't even dive this. Is it even good to dive? Fuck YOLO. This is terrible for me. Holy shit.
Come on, please. Get bodies.
Like no.
Get bodies, yes.
Someone
Everybody getting bodies. I love.
smashing fucking keys? I can't tell.
Bro, who the
Are we winning?
Someone's got their mic unmuted and they're smashing keys.
Wow, why is it so quiet?
Huh?
Can we step out some credits?
my
and shit?
fault, bro. Yo, are you winning?
Yeah, we're winning, we're winning.
Yo, yo, tell me, bro. Yo, I need to know. On the edge of my seat, bro.
We won.
Edging in my seat,
You're in, bro.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure I already know Manir locked it.
I was edging in my seat, bro.
Sandy and V.
Yeah, shout out to Mickey. Yeah, look at my
Who's
score,
Mickey?
guys.
Coach is right.
Yeah.
Semantics.
Semantics and
Yo,
optics.
I hope Guggen's not still in the chat, bro.
Semantics and optics.
It's very important.
Very important. This is vital, actually.
I'd say it's vital. Yeah, that was the word I was gonna use.
Oh, we got a
Yo,
little
will they
Dicky on
ever
the team.
replace the fucking voice actress, bro?
Probably not.
You should.
Nah, she's not to 360, bro.
720.
Mm-hmm.
This guy Amit is just fucking rage baiting in Saul's chat. This guy's like, yo, bro hit one shot,
Yo.
try aim assist, elite mechanics, good job, show the accuracy stat. LMFAO, it's you, show the accuracy stat. I had to live to do it, then dies. Bro, button mashing the most brain dead hero. Bro's blaming his team because he can't create space. It's never your fault, is it?
Damn. Damn, he's frying
This
him,
is
bro.
actually crazy, bro.
He frying him. This is crazy.
And I'm the one who got banned. That's crazy.
LMFAO, you suck. That's still going, bro. That's actually jokes, bro.
I can't see anything.
Legally
Whoa,
blind.
this is perfect.
I'll just hide behind you. It'll be perfect.
Wait, what game mode is this?
Convergence?
Why does it look so different?
What do you mean, why does it look different? What is it supposed to look like?
You know, maybe I'm tripping.
Yo, Spider-Man,
Body.
Spider-Man attacking?
Spider-Man does not like me.
I believe in you guys.
It's probably because you're fucking his talent.
I'm making sure they don't fucking come forward, bro.
Yeah.
Venom.
You got it handled, bro. You absolutely have it handled.
Oh, he caught that smoke grenade to his face.
While you do that, I'm gonna close some tabs real quick. Alright.
Oh, they're pushing. Oh my
Bro,
god.
that Spider-Man
applying
is on
pressure.
my ass. Holy.
Whoa there.
Oh, where am I getting hit from? I need heals.
Everywhere.
Oh my god, I'm getting fucked. Where am I getting hit from?
Everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere. Did you live?
Where am I getting hit from, bro?
Everywhere, bro.
Nah. Now I fire back, bro. I fire back.
Holy fuck, Spider-Man is annoying, bro.
All that for what?
So his name is the Amazing Man, yo. Who do you think you are, bro?
He's amazing.
No, he just thinks that, bro.
I was born to change humanity for the better.
Yo, she's taking everything, guys. Yo, do not let her take everything, guys. Yo, Spider-Man is... Okay. Nice.
Spider-Man's dead. Put that on the newspaper. What? Are people scrapping back here? What's going on?
Oh, they're switching it
Oh,
up
we're so
now.
confident, bro.
I mean...
Oh, they brought out Squirrel Girl? Yeah, these guys... What was the word I say when people start now?
Huh?
What? Spiraling. these guys are spiraling, bro. Okay, Spider-Man, where are you? Oh, I'm dead. I'm actually dead. What the fuck is going on, bro?
Don't die to that.
Oh my...
Oh, okay. You'll bring yourself back, right?
Yeah.
Is he dead? No, he's not.
Bro, why is this guy harassing me? Yo, bro.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. That's my first death. I flew too close to the sun.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Hit him with the jab.
Epic victory, bro. I didn't do shit.
Yeah, I did everything. Can't lie.
Damn.
I literally did everything, bro.
The single look at it, bro.
How do I have like less than half your damage and more final hits than you, Serapho? You're just shooting in one line, bro.
I was just shooting one line. What's up, bro? Bots. Oh, he real and he know he. He knows the rage bear.
Bots? You said it to our team.
Botso of the Water Tribe.
Oh,
Botso of the Water Tribe. Bro, once I get Lord Punisher, bro, I don't know what I'm about to do, bro. Shit.
Holy, bro, this guy Emmett's still going.
How is he not banned?
I don't know, man. Genuinely have no idea. Are we on defense? Oh shit.
See by Jutton. I think it's Gooners on console, bro. I know what I'm talking about.
What you read, bro?
So I was just saying, Evan's getting boosted by Jetson, bro.
That's crazy.
Alright.
Okay. I got back up.
Sorry, I was locked out.
Nah. RJ, you spinning, bro.
I got you, bro.
Yo, Fortnite. Yo, thing behind us. Oh shit.
Holy.
He's gonna get my ass. Oh, he got my ass.
I died too. Oh, these guys are not.
Yo, where's y'all, bro?
These guys are not.
But do you know how hard it is to do that push that efficiently? How did we die?
Cause the thing went like, I don't know how the thing got past all of us.
I think
just
he went
killed our
around.
healers.
He went around and like he fucking got my ass, bro.
He went around, bro.
Nah.
That's such a lazy excuse.
Bro, I don't know how he snuck around, bro. He's big as fuck, bro.
Bro. His
He must.
Surfel was in a turret and he fucking lost it immediately. So I went to go heal him. I turn around and fucking Arjun's playing Fortnite by himself.
Nah.
and then Surfel joins
like
him.
The ability to go invisible, bro. Oh my gosh, how is he doing this?
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Mechanics change or something?
Alright, guys. Guys.
Damn, Arjun, what you doing at spawn, bro? It's like Arjun is lost.
Yo, he ran behind us
he's
again,
behind
bro.
me.
He ran around again, bro. You don't even make the same fucking
How the
excuse
fuck is he
again.
doing? How does he keep doing this? How does he keep doing this, bro?
Yeah, don't make the same fucking excuse again, bro.
Nah.
What do you mean, nah?
Nah, man.
What do you mean, nah, bro?
Nah, bro. What is he, bro?
Alright, where the fuck did our team just go, bro?
Okay, they're not getting past.
They're getting past it, bro. Unfortunately, they're getting past it. Yeah. Bro, how did he fucking come around again, bro? Nah, this is actually ridiculous, bro.
Fucking ridiculous.
I'm beaming him. I'm beaming the shit out of him.
Turn up. Yours, you got this. Keep going. Don't stop. What that nigga JC say? I hear someone. Oh, they see me. Get off.
Where are you, bro?
I was.
Oh,
What's going on?
I don't know, bro.
People are fighting. You not hear all these like.
Yeah, they're doing it to do that, bro. Alright, do it your way, bro. Do it your way, bro.
Oh my gosh, please. Nice.
Alright.
Damn. Nah, I just locked in, bro.
Yeah. That makes one of us.
I did say this is where we make our stand, and you know, they haven't pushed forward since.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
No way.
Oh, they comboed it. They comboed it.
Holy fuck, bro. I just got back.
Amit.
I have fun watching Surfo stream.
You mean Sabo stream?
Yeah. Oh my bad. Yo, I don't know why I keep.
Damn.
My fault, Surfo.
Bro,
That's
I was
crazy.
reading your chat, bro. I was actually cooking.
I'm
you,
like,
bro.
I don't remember the last time I. Bro, there's no way, bro.
Bro,
Oh,
why is
God.
this thing like actually like crazy? Bruh, I'm dead.
Where is he, bro? I'm a solo also.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's kind of. There he is. Where's he? Oh my god, I couldn't do it. He ran away.
Yeah, everybody just died.
Bro, what are you trying to do to him?
Solo also.
Oh. What?
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. I have the answer.
Which is?
I don't have space.
Oh.
I have an 8 GB update.
Bro, why did
I
you?
don't know if I'm playing
Okay.
tonight.
You know what? Yeah. Fuck it, why not?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Not even. Oh, fuck!
Can I watch a stream on my PlayStation?
Bro, this is actually.
Man, what's going on?
Bro, your portal didn't really help us.
It's been strange.
I'm gonna lie, Strange is useless without the portal, bro.
Bro.
Not useless. Boring as hell.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, but you actually gotta do something with it though, you know?
I had to use it as fast. Like I couldn't use it anywhere until I got into that little corridor.
Demi says you
Or-
don't know how to use it.
No, it's just like there's no space. You know, sometimes it don't allow you if you don't got enough space.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I had to walk all the way there,
Report
and by that
squirrel,
point it was
bro.
like I might as well just walk into
Which
the room
squirrel
instead
bro
of
they wanna
portal.
report, bro?
Yeah, Manir, were you still watching the stream?
Like a little bit of it.
Mm.
I tapped out for a bit, but I was still reading your chat. Give an update, right?
Hell Unleashed.
Hey.
Damn, fuck.
What the fuck?
What the hell?
I am Groot.
Are you?
What did I just download?
Whoa.
The wrong movie,
Whoa,
huh? You
that's not
downloaded
a
the wrong,
defense,
you
bro.
downloaded the wrong movie, huh?
that didn't go all
Oh, there we go.
Bro's on Epstein.com.
.com.
What did I download?
What is it? vacation@gmail.com, bro?
Okay, there we go. I got picture on my phone. I can keep harassing her. I mean, damn!
Whoa!
Damn, nigga! Damn, what the fuck? Nah, stay on that island over
Yo,
there.
Freudian slip, bro.
I can keep
Freudian
harassing
slip.
Sabo.
Once you fly to the island,
If
stay
you're
on
on
the
that side,
island,
stay
bro.
on that side.
Once you fly to the island, stay on the island, bro.
Wait, I had an F bar, didn't I? Fuck.
Epstein bar. You were at the Epstein bar?
Yo, you're at Epstein's
What?
bar.
Hey, what?
Had a lot with
Hey,
The battle starts in 5,
What was it?
4,
Fuck, I gotta remember.
1.
And you forgot, bro.
No, it was
Oh, yeah.
actually so tough.
Alright. Yeah, this is not a defense, bro.
That's not a defense hat.
You're at Epstein's bar? Alright,
Damn.
bro. Yo, Iron Fist behind us? No, that's rope. Fuck. That's even
Yo,
worse.
are they bots again, bro? They're dying too easy.
Mere mortals, bro. Niggas sound like Vegeta, bro. They dying too easy.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Yes, sir. For remember what you said for that one time? I think it was someone's birthday. I forget, but you're like, yo, yo, nobody wants the bread, bro. You can't get complacent, bro.
Wait, what's that?
Remember that? Remember that?
Nah,
Like,
nah,
there's guys, bro.
No, you cut it out, bro. I can't.
Bro,
You
why do you think
cut it
it's you're both cutting out?
Yeah, you're cutting out too, bro.
That's the funniest
Ah,
part of this
my
all
fault.
shit.
This is fucking game, bro.
Yo, talking game chat if you need to, bro.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Nah, I'm using, bro. Like the headphones I usually use broke, and I found these like fucking Bob Marley headphones.
Oh, the Bob Marley skull candies, bro.
I don't know what brand this is. Nigga, I read that Marley and the Jamaican flag. I'm like, yeah, I know what this is.
I had Bob Marley.
Yo,
skull
Serpo's
candies
voice
back in
cutting
the
out for you too.
day. Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's not, I don't know. Maybe it's not internet, bro. I don't know.
Bro, this shit is so glitchy, man.
But we're going to stop him.
Okay.
Did you get booted?
Halfway there.
Yeah, it randomly does that. Yeah, these are bots.
that's
These are
probably-
bots.
It's probably a connection thing.
I don't think so. My connection's solid.
Bro, it's happened to me before too. I searched it all to check connection.
Yeah, I don't think it's a connection thing, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I haven't lagged a day in my life.
I just flex on Amos and Surf's whole existence and my existence like that, bro.
Nah, I
Bro,
like.
bro hasn't had the struggle of bad internet.
Bad internet and bad computer at the same time, bro. Oh,
I mean, I'm in charge of like setting up the
those are the
internet, bro. So I make sure like that shit.
We are
Look, he has good internet privilege.
good internet privilege, bro. It's like it's a blind spot, you know. So you don't
It's a true sign of wealth right there.
Yeah, these are actually bots, right?
probably, bro.
No, maybe you guys are just that good, bro.
Dog.
Don't let anything stand in your way.
7 minutes, bro.
We have 7 minutes to get to like what, 10 meters.
Let's just stop.
Yeah.
It'll still move on its own though.
Killing that tree.
Why did you pull, bro?
I was like, why did my frame rate drop? But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There's a portal behind me, isn't there, guys?
It's actually right in front of their spawn.
Oh, you cooking?
Oh no, this guy solo ulted me, bro.
That's crazy.
That was my only death, bro.
Oh no way, she was my. She used my portal to use her ult.
Are you still
Crazy.
commenting in his chat, bro? Pop off, King? Is that necessary, bro?
Pop off, king. Yo, send this game, bro. I'm trying to play these bots.
Bro, let's just end it, bro. Oh, I'm dead again. I got greedy.
Oh my god. Where are my heals, bro? Holy, bro. Healers not doing their jobs.
Yeah, so what makes this game look so stressful?
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro, what?
Nobody said the captain's life was easy, bro.
Double KO. Get that vehicle moving again.
The captain. Captain Morgan comes out.
Captain Organs come out.
What?
Slow it down. I just dissed you.
Just this you.
And if you know what conceited is,
I do remember Conceited from Wild 'N Out.
yeah, he's got a battle rap line.
Nah, you don't know about, but do you know Consider from URL?
I know he's a battle rapper. These guys showing me some of his stuff.
Yeah, so basically, like his gimmick is he'll say something,
And slow it down.
and then
I
he'll be
just
like,
dissed
slow
you.
it down, I just dissed you, and it'll be like a bunch of like homophones of what he kind of just said, and it'll be like another layer on the diss, and then sometimes, you know, he'll just keep going.
He's done that in Wild Now before.
That's what he's famous for.
That is. My fault, guys. I'm a casual.
We killed the squirrel, bro.
Brisky. Wait, yo. So how just lost again? How many games in a row is it?
I think that's 4.
I think it's a 5 loss streak. But he told me how to check.
You tell how you finally got banned, bro.
He told me how to check.
Oh, it's only for like 10 minutes, bro. You're
Oh, he deleted everything.
Damn.
Oh, that's so
Hard
funny.
work. Hey, man, how long have you been terrorizing that man?
I think it's been like a good 30 minutes.
It's okay, I untimed out you, bro.
Yeah, it's been about 30 minutes.
Put you on
That's
timeout.
not that bad.
You got untimed
No,
out.
I've been harassing this LA.
Hold on, let me unbit. Oh, never mind. You didn't ban me.
Why'd you ban me?
I said I untimed
you
you.
ban?
Oh, you want to
I
unban
untimed
you, but you're not
I
banned.
untimed you out, bro.
Oh, hey. Oh, you're a mod.
Yeah, bro. I don't think you noticed. I don't know. If
He's
you
about to unmod you, bro.
100%.
Mod this. Yo, Emmett, is your update done?
46 seconds.
We get away. Oh, RJ, what were you trying?
Yo, you cut out.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go back.
Oh, what I was trying to say?
He's gonna shout. What do you?
Is it crashing out?
No, I just left and rejoined. See if that would make it better.
He's like,
Yeah, we'll see.
what the fuck?
Huh?
Yeah, like what?
Soul's crashing
No,
out.
I'll let them do the thing. They're like trolling so
Ah, I got you.
How much is done?
Lit.
hard. What?
You didn't say good luck, have fun, bro. Like, how about you just play well? It's already over, bro.
Launching.
It's already over, bro. 30 seconds before the match started.
I mean, you only. Oh, yo, Arjun, he's talking about his ban on you.
Why?
There's a rivals fucking wrapped?
Yeah, bro. There's a raptor for everything, bro.
There's a what?
Rivals wrapped.
Like,
What's a wrapped?
Like Spotify wrapped.
you know Spotify wrapped?
Oh.
You know the person whose idea it was never actually got paid for it? Ain't that
How do you know
crazy?
I mean, that's the most believable thing in the world, bro. Whatever Spotify intern came up with that shit, bro.
So so the story is the Spotify intern
Wrapped.
pitched it. Yeah, pitched wrapped, and they never actually got paid for the idea. And
Yeah, there's
look
been a
where-
bunch
look
of
how-
stories of people saying that they're like out of this shit. I don't know if
It's
it's
pretty
true,
easy.
bro.
It's
Yo,
pretty easy for that
there's
to
some guy
happen.
that said he invented Wi-Fi when he worked at IBM, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Honestly, yeah, like rap isn't that crazy of an idea. Someone else definitely thought of it too. You know,
Yeah,
like,
somebody definitely looked at their most
There's a couple
played,
sequel trees.
most played like on their iTunes feature list. Yo, like what song is the most played? I wonder what it was for just this year. You know?
You'll
Yeah.
need a top-notch team
That's just the
to
data
win this.
pipeline.
but then some intern was like, "Yo, let me try to take credit for."
And they didn't get credit for it either way, bro. Uncle
Alright,
Nacho.
I'm gonna keep banging my head against this wall.
Huh?
What about the game?
Oh, you're
What-
great
what about in the
Daredevil.
game though?
Don't let anyone tell you that.
Oh. Disconnect the
Yo, you're horrible, dude. Stop, bro. Fuck this.
That was fucking the timing on that was crazy.
That's so funny.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Fuck, I should
I'll
have
never
done
let Krakoa suffer the same case, Genosha.
Kenosha.
Why aren't you playing with
so that was
Sahal?
their
Guggen, we're
controls.
not playing with Sahal because he's playing competitive, bro. He's trying to get out of silver.
You're lying.
You're lying. He's doing that.
You're lying. It's
He
so...
went into mo- he
No,
went
no,
into
he's been
motion streaks now, bro.
he's been on like silver 1. He just lost 5 games in a row. I can't
way.
play
What?
comp with him until he's gold. So I was like, yo, you gotta get to gold, bro.
Sahal's better.
No, so
No,
you
he's
can't get
not,
out of
bro.
silver. You're actually ass, bro. I'm gonna lie.
Bro, he's in a
Yeah.
5-game losing streak, bro.
That's crazy.
That's why this shit is hilarious, bro. Because he was like, I swear he was like 2 games away.
Guys, are we fighting?
I'm fighting.
Oh, who the fuck is behind me, bro?
Better stop that vehicle.
Yo, get Scarlet Witch. Yo, get Scarlet Witch.
Oh my god, I'm about to die.
Who are you, bro?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, you're probably sure.
Oh,
Somebody kill someone?
I'm trying.
Oh,
I'm dead.
trying.
Oh my god, bro.
That's not good. No, get focus range, bro. Focus range. Range is one shot. Okay, never mind. Lot of GG's, bro.
Both the DPS are there. Damn, bro. Drink some water.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm stuck on a fucking wall. I'm stuck on a fucking wall.
Whoa, bro.
Oh,
How
shit.
did...
Oh, shit fell apart. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Oh, you're in there? Never
Okay, I
mind.
shouldn't have
Okay,
done
no.
that. I shouldn't have done that.
I'm in there. I'm in there.
You're
I'm
in there? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I ran away. I ran away.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Better
Well,
stop that vehicle.
I remember how to play this guy, don't worry.
Yeah, you're an amazing daredevil.
Thank you, bro.
That is not Tooth Angel. That is Daredevil.
Oh, I'm out this bitch. I'm out this bitch.
I'm stuck.
Oh,
Someone stay on point. Stay on point, bro.
That's
Stay
what
on
we needed,
point.
bro. We've been in.
Don't give up. Stay on point, bro.
Oh,
I'm on point. I'm on point. I'm on point. I'm on point.
This is what we needed.
Oh, I died.
On your left. Down two.
I mean, you definitely tried, bro.
Why'd I go back in? Oh, this shit opened up and I just heard the show. Oh my god.
Oh, they pulled. Oh, they went through. Fuck.
they reverse portal.
The reverse portal. Nah, not the reverse portal. Oh, that's crazy.
I can't believe you ported
Back to
for
the
them,
past.
bro. That's actually fucked.
What is that?
Oh, I'm out this bitch. I'm
bro,
out
it's-
this bitch.
Yo, Magneto, you're on your own, bro.
Alright. Hey, don't miss the whole season.
How'd you know my name was phone?
Whoa! Let's go in.
Holy shit.
RJ kill her! RJ kill her! RJ go kill her, bro!
Where is she? Did she go away? Did she go around?
RJ, bro, please!
Yo, what's with all these people
Where is
getting
she?
going around?
I have
bro?
no idea where she went. I have no idea where she went.
I fucking killed her, bro. Guys,
Oh, how am I dead?
I need heals, bro.
Yo, I'm ass.
Yeah.
Facts.
Bro, he turns around here.
no, holy.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Alright, this guy's cooking me.
Oh my god, they see me!
Yo, swap pants with me?
What's that mean?
Man, get the fuck out of my face,
Bro,
bro.
what are you doing? Bro, please, go after water. Yo, how you take the
bro.
It's the middle of the game, bro.
See, this is why you're 0-6, bro.
You're worried about the wrong
Yo,
thing,
stop
bro.
point.
0-7.
Stall them for 50
Bro,
seconds.
you watch.
We're all moderating, bro. What do you mean?
Bro, can you heal me, please?
I'm healing everybody, but don't worry.
Alright, I turn around here.
No, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
That's crazy. Y'all got dicked on, bro. Y'all think got dicked on. I'm good. I survived.
Bro,
What happened to the team, bro? What
do
happened to the
something,
team?
bro.
Nah, y'all think got dicked on, bro.
Bro.
That
This is
was
all a domino effect of you fucking portaling for them, bro.
These niggas just with the combo. That's just damage, bro.
You turn it. Oh, bro.
Now watch this. Watch me turn. Oh, okay, no.
Yeah, turn it around, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I'm out the
fuck.
bitch, I'm out the bitch.
It's cooked.
Am I going to the
What kind of question is that?
Am I diving too hard?
Are you
am I
dying
diving in
too hard,
much?
bro? I don't even know what kind
Am
of
I diving?
question that
I'm out this bitch.
is. Bro, you're doing something
I killed one
wrong.
healer, bro.
Bro, Emma Frost is ulting, bro. I can't help you, bro. Alright, guys. They're actually beating the shit out of me right now.
Skylar Witch got me.
Stop, bro, stop.
Bro, they're chasing me, guys. Guys, help me.
Oh my god, Surfel's portaling. Let's go.
Let's go. This is exactly what we needed, bro.
Wait, I went
Did
through
you
it. What is-
portal us 4 meters?
Bro. It's worth it, bro. Use it as a fucking. Why is it? It's worth it, bro. Trust. It's worth.
We definitely have motion now, bro.
Turn off. We're getting bodies, bro. Come on.
Oh, Emma got some bodies.
Let's go.
Yo, Scarlet behind us.
Get this.
That's the best portal I've ever seen.
3 minutes, bro.
Best portal you ever seen? Wait for the one that comes in 90 seconds, bro.
Yeah, 120, bro.
Oh, shit. Alright. 2 minutes. Are you Bruce Banner only, by the way?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm holding them off.
How do you have more kills than Emma?
Yeah, I'm actually not doing bad.
Who the fuck said that shit?
What's the what?
I'm guessing those are the bad
Yeah,
guys.
behind us. Scarlet Witch.
I don't know, fucking that guy.
He was. Oh, never mind. I got popped.
Yo, back up.
Oh, I'm out this bitch.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not.
No.
Oh no.
Oh my god, get on the point.
I'm on point.
Good shit.
Watch out. That's bait. That's so bait. Get on the point that you're armed and dangerous, bro. Nah, bro. Oh, hell
Oh,
no.
watch out. GG's, bro.
Oh my god, bro.
I want to have a portal for that.
Bro.
Bro, how'd I do
Someone on here is selling.
Yeah, what's the price?
Alright, I got my bad game out the way. Don't worry, guys.
Look at my accuracy.
Wait. Wow.
That's a melee character, too. That's a melee character, by the way.
Bro, Bruce Banner's gun just shoots like straight pellets, bro.
How are you missing, though? What does that have to do with
Doesn't it have like
missing,
no
bro?
range, bro?
Bro, because it's a short range gun, but it does no damage. And I have like 2. So what are the worst characters to play? I don't know why anyone would play him.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell this guy Sabo to join the.
He's
Bro,
not,
Minnie, why are
bro.
you telling him I'm
Huh?
sending this information?
What?
Yo, Emmett, you should play Daredevil.
Oh, I can't instigate,
Yo,
bro.
you're right.
You'll need a top
You're
notch
absolutely
team
right.
to win this one.
Yo, where's this Jutting guy, bro? This guy said like 9:15.
Yeah, remember when he said he was coming back shortly?
That's a
It was like 4
9:15
a.m.
small dinner break. I'm like, bro, what?
What the movie? Yeah, we need another tank.
We have
I
one.
agree.
We have one, bro. Oh, they
Nah, nah.
Oh,
I
sorry,
gotta,
bro.
I gotta be,
You're
I
crazy,
gotta be
bro.
Daredevil.
30 seconds before you attack.
Nah, we need the other
Batman?
tank, bro.
If you a bad man, you coming with me, bro.
What is the team called?
I got me solo healing, bro. Alright, Emmett. You got it, bro. You got the drone.
Yeah, just make sure
Who's
you're
with me?
Daredevil.
Who's with me, bro?
Where are you? Where are you?
It's just you, bro.
Alright, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
5,
I'm at the fucking front door, bro.
3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Okay, nope. Did not work.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Please tell me you got one body, bro.
Nah, their Hulk froze me, bro.
Wait, what?
Their
Yo, I
Hulk
think these
froze
might be bots,
Yo,
bro.
I think we might be bots, bro.
me. We might be boss.
Yeah.
Nah, I got my serious character out.
Bro, we need a second healer. Oh my god. Yeah, circle your fucking chest.
My Emma's going crazy.
Bro, these are definitely bots.
How are they capturing the point then?
Cause we have a one healer call.
Nah, I think okay, with one healer we can be boss, right?
Yeah, no, we should be able to. You're right.
Yeah, these aren't bots, bro.
No, these are bots. These are bots. I'm so convinced these are bots.
Double kill.
Yeah, this shit kinda easy, bro.
Yeah, these are bots. These are for sure bots.
You know, I always get some bot. You tell me Piper hat down is a bot, bro?
Yeah.
Yo.
Piper Oh shit. Oh, they call me lacking, I can't lie. I'm not at my screen.
Oh, those are bots, bro. Those are bots, bro.
No, I mean,
These are
I'm
actually
letting,
bots, bro.
I'm letting my dog into the helper, and now I'm not even.
Boss, bro.
Yeah, maybe I'd be so dead as they're bots, bro.
These not. Look, I'm a bot, bro.
No, I understand what he's saying.
Nah, they're spiraling.
Guys,
They're
coach is right.
spiraling. They got motion,
They're
bro.
spiraling, bro. Bro, look how far that's user invisible chart. Oh, our screen just cooked. Our screen just cooking. I thought you couldn't come, brother.
What are you talking about, bro?
This guy said he wasn't coming. This guy lied.
What are you talking about, bro? I can't come though.
You said you couldn't come, bro.
I'm not. I'm here, bro. I can't.
Oh no, no.
I'll be
Alright, I
showing.
got this.
Yes.
Let me get some motion, bro.
Bro, why would Jeff do that?
Huh?
Oh, what the fuck was that? Do I have a team up right now?
Why are you, bro? You have a Daredevil team up, bro. You didn't
Yeah,
know
this
that?
nigga said like
Oh, bro.
I had no idea, bro.
Yo, Hawkeye's on a head glitch.
How'd you know my name was?
Yeah? Watch this. It didn't work.
Which part, bro?
Shocker, bro.
What was that?
That was me running away.
Yo,
Damn it, do you understand it now, bro? What's going on here?
I understand it now.
Bro, it took
these
us.
are bots.
It took a bot game for you to understand it.
Yo, Surfo's doing some crazy gameplay right now, bro. This,
Watch this.
Yeah, this guy Saul.
I literally can't stop blind.
Still has Zamet's name in his mouth right now, bro.
What's this guy doing? Was it one
Oh,
dead?
crazy. You're
Bro,
welcome.
3 more minutes against bots, bro. Fuck.
No
Hey,
way.
these are actual bots.
It's too easy, bro. I'm gonna switch characters, bro.
Nah, I understand.
I'm gonna fly back to spawn real quick.
Oh no. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Where the fuck is our
Oh,
spawn,
fuck.
bro?
Where am I even getting hit from? What? Oh, fucking Haka.
I got grabbed. Down.
Back shot. 2-3.
Fuck it, yeah. Let me play Black Widow, bro.
Still a chance to stop them.
Ja.
Get some real gameplay in here, bro.
Oh, they're coming. Oh, don't go that way. Don't go that way. Don't go. Don't go that way. Don't go that way.
Yo, who left at the fucking
Don't jump,
checkpoint, bro?
Time to stop them.
What just happened to me?
Don't jump that way,
Yo.
bro.
Oh,
Or Jeff
shit.
locked.
After everything I've been through in the
This guy's carrying the team, bro. That's our ace, bro.
Oh my god.
I'm in your
Jeffrey.
walls. Where are my walls?
Yo, Gogan, are you hopping on?
No. I don't have anything to play on.
Play on my dick.
Mmm.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I could download Marvel Rivals on my
What?
laptop.
This guy's running up so
That.
You could
Marvel
download
Rivals,
Marvel
that's
Rivals?
Oh shit.
Oh, yo, is it on PS4?
No. I wish.
Alright, let's hop on Fall Guys, bro. Pick up the PS4.
Bro, that shit hasn't been updated in years, bro. I think it has like dust on this shit. It's actually disconnected.
Where'd this guy go?
Yo, we can play on my PS2 though.
You got the multi-tap though? We have like 5 players, bro.
Oh, yeah, I have it. I actually do.
So,
I have a bunch of attachments. I also have the fucking what's that shit for the DS? The shit that allows you to hack stuff.
Stylus.
R4?
Nah,
Action replay?
What's the stylus?
action replay. I have action replay as well for my DS.
Where'd you get the action replay from?
Bro, you don't want to know, bro. The lens I had to go through to get that.
Fucking Kennedy Market, bro.
Bro, what'd you do for that action replay? What'd you...
Hey, he played with someone's dick, bro.
No, I had to like
He
pass
played with
around
someone's
and
dick,
shit.
bro.
You had to what, bro?
He played with someone's dick, bro. A man said, if you want this action replay, you gonna have to play with this joystick.
You gonna give me some action? You gonna give me some action?
I actually vaguely remember taking it from someone else.
Okay, wait, you took it from someone
I
else?
think we remember doing...
You took it from
guys.
who?
Guys, touch point.
Plasma, disappear.
I think this is like a really annoying kid that used to live in my basement.
That's GG stuff.
Oh, we're talking about kids in basement now? Like,
Oh, yo, what the hell, bro?
Gogan, you were doing what the...
Yo, Emma's trying to know, bro.
I feel like I
Guys, lock in, bro. Guys, lock in, bro. Lock in.
Portal.
Don't die.
Portal. Oh, you fucking.
No, I couldn't.
Bro, how did we lose the ball game?
Bro, I went 18-8, bro. What more you offer me?
Why'd you immediately start assigning...
Immediately deflect.
Yeah, somebody tells the hall to let go of the rank to grind into hopping.
Is he playing Punisher now,
So
bro?
how he
Did he finally
don't play with us.
switch off Captain America?
Wait, no, tell that no, he. No.
Oh, I'm gonna message him in the Twitch chat, tell him to join us.
Let me just raid his chat.
no.
No. Let me finish this Rivals Wrapped.
Were this rivals wrapped?
Yeah, this Rivals Wrapped.
Alright, this has gone too far.
Yo, did you know it was started by some intern and like they took the idea?
Yo, that's so crazy.
That's right. It's crazy.
Yo, what doesn't have a wrap that should have one?
What?
Pornhub.
mean, it might.
Like you think naturally that would be like
I mean, it might.
something that
bro.
would implement it, right?
I don't think so. I don't think.
You probably need an account for that actually.
Yeah, you definitely need an account first.
Yeah, does
of
anybody
all.
have an account?
No, bro. Yo, even with the premium account, they don't have it.
Damn.
I was checking all day.
Yo, maybe it didn't drop yet, bro. There's still time left in the year, bro.
Oh, there's a reward.
So.
You know, like, cause the holiday influx of you know, themed,
Of nut.
themed, yeah, themed.
What the fuck?
Themed porn.
No, that's.
Themed nut, yeah, nutcracker.
Wait, what?
What?
Nutcracker?
What?
You heard me, bro.
Bro, I'm watching the test before I get chased down by.
I will never let Coca-Cola suffer the same fate as Genosha.
Yo, I joined the stream.
Damn.
I joined the stream. First thing I hear this guy say is to tell me to kill myself.
Oh, you can get him. You can. Yeah, definitely. You can get him banned off Twitch for that.
Yo, how do I
He's
clip?
breaking TOS, bro.
Yo, let's run the game, guys. What are we doing?
My fault.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging.
Shoot.
So. He's not a hero.
I'm the Punisher.
Pick your hero. Oh, you're a villain. I'm not judging.
This guy just voted to surrender, bro.
Embarrassing.
Like he initiated the vote.
Embarrassing.
Literally half the battle.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Bro, that's so. The audio couldn't be crystal clear. Yeah, this guy gave you a timeline and everything.
Let's get those 30 minutes of.
4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the
Yo, are you gonna submit it?
No, I'm ready. I'm making a clip right now, bro. What do you?
Yo, you can make a whole montage. Give it like another hour.
Holy shit! They domed the fuck out of the Punisher.
Yo, chill, bro.
Every little bit helps.
Yo, they're chasing me. Oh, okay, they fucked me up.
It's okay, I'm melee only Black Widow.
like the mission area is yours to capture now. Capture the mission area.
Kill Black Panther, bro.
Bro, that's not very patriotic of you.
Man, fuck the patriarchy. Kill the thing of Black Panther, bro.
Patriarchy.
Follow him.
Oh, follow him. Follow him. Follow him. Where'd you go? He broke my ankle.
He juked you, bro?
He absolutely broke my ankles.
Did you do on that beat?
Fundamentally broke my ankles, bro.
Yo, I locked him. Go.
What is happening right now?
Kill Black Panther, bro.
Okay.
Wakanda never.
Wakanda never.
Wakanda for never, bro. That's crazy.
Every little bit helps.
Hey, no, let's go.
Where you going, bro? Where you going? Let's do it.
Oh, where this guy come from, bro?
Like to make it sting.
Yo, why do you come flying out that tunnel? Yo, let's spawn trap him.
Bye, Guggen.
Go get me,
Oh shit, someone was launching Discord,
Oh,
bro.
shit.
It might be
Oh,
over,
shit.
guys.
You've captured more than
Okay, we can actually spawn trap them.
Keep going.
We are.
Watch.
Yo, if this Black Widow could hit any shots, bro, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, I couldn't do it. Fuck, only got one. Keep applying pressure. Keep applying pressure, bro.
Hey, yo. Yo, get the ass.
Keep applying pressure, bro.
Blocked him out of spawn.
Bro, how did I out melee the thing, bro? Nah, that's fucked up, bro.
Yo, whose portal is this? Why is it?
Whose portal do you think it is, bro? You think they would have had the opportunity to make a portal, bro?
Yo, they got a group. Yo, these fucking trash bags, bro.
Trash bags, bro? Oh, you sound like Ultron, bro.
How they get?
Yeah, yo, Surfa, get behind us. What the fuck?
Right, I was tripping.
Hey, yo, sit around.
People have to put things back together.
Shoot.
Sugar-la-tugin.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
During game, bro.
Hey, what am I thinking?
That you need a bigger gun?
Bingo! Where do I find one?
It doesn't matter if a conflict is geological, commercial, or even multiversal.
They only get one shot. Do not miss your chance and blow.
The battle
Who do you have
starts
to
in
blow?
5, 4, 3.
This opportunity
Who do you
comes
have to
once in a
blow?
lifetime.
All
Yo.
you need to do
We
is
need to go again
capture
after
the
blow to get that
missionary.
action
Got
replay,
it?
bro. You got disconnected. You got too close to the truth, bro.
Welcome
Better
back.
lose yourself. Take the moment you want. Better never again.
Oh shit.
Oh, buddies.
Let the
Ooh.
bodies
Oh,
hit
I'm
the
dead.
floor. Let the bodies hit the.
Looks like the mission area is
Yo, why they
Oh
got
my
good
gosh.
help, bro?
Yo, I think I need to bring out Daredevil.
Yeah,
That's
you're
exactly what this game
You're right,
needs,
you're
bro.
right, it
Yeah.
was too easy.
Wait, Emma.
Oh my
Wait
God.
40 seconds, bro. I got something for you, bro.
Oh no.
35 seconds, bro.
Yeah, that's like a portal to hell, bro.
Not after everything I've been
For us.
28 more seconds. Oh, they're coming.
Oh, they want to spawn trap us.
I'm not even about that.
Get his ass, Emmett. Get his ass.
Oh shit. Heal, please, heal.
I'll do everything myself, bro.
That's teamwork.
Yo, where's this fucking portal? Oh, it's coming.
Bro, we don't need it.
Oh, he's
anymore.
portaling.
Another one bites the dust.
Let's go.
Their team's
Where's everyone?
Oh.
Yo, they're spawn trapping us, so we're chilling. What the
Oh, they're not spawning.
Nah.
Help!
It's a broken game.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Watch out, bro. I got you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yo, can
The skulls are killing me, bro. Oh my gosh.
somebody come to the point real quick?
What's
Yo,
up to the point?
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I may have boxed. Good.
Oh my fucking aim, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, this shit ain't real, bro.
Did that for the culture.
This shit ain't real, bro. I hope nobody's watching. Dog, I hope you're not still watching.
Fucking tree.
more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
What damage do, bro?
Oh, my fault. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of direct, you know?
Topped me off. Thanks.
Hey, Rocky, heal me better, bro.
That's crazy.
Rocky, you're not healing enough, bro. Rocky, you're a bum. Oh, I appreciate you, Rocky. I'm back.
Oh my fucking aim, bro.
The area's almost
Killed the Invisibitch. Yeah, turn off.
No, not after everything I've been through in the Red Room.
No.
No. Rude.
What is this guy doing?
He's playing Fortnite, bro.
You'll have to keep fighting
Ain't no
until
way.
you have a winner.
It's okay. You got me back. You got me back.
Armed and dangerous.
That might be the worst Bucky I've seen, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, tap into Saul's stream real quick. Yeah, this game is too easy, bro.
Another epic victory. Big win.
And but try harder next time. Maybe you'll get MVP.
My fault, bro. My fault, bro. My fault.
You can do some more damage next time.
Facts.
How many more games? Yo, Amy, kill yourself.
Is it the
Damn.
same clip, bro? You're just like reliving it?
No, I downloaded it.
Is that your ringtone now, bro?
This is my prized possession.
Yo, make sure you upload it on LinkedIn.
Ooh. Do I have to hold on LinkedIn?
Does all have LinkedIn?
Let's find out. Yes, he does. Connect.
Oh no. Oh no.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Wind.
I don't even know what I want to play
and
this.
storm. Hear my command.
Hey, who's a fun
Yeah.
tank?
I don't know what I want to do either.
Alright, man, learn Angela, bro. Gambit.
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 Somewhere in the world is a little girl like I once was. I fight for her.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Yo, Gogo Batase might be on the Raptors, bro.
You're lying.
Yeah, bro.
That doesn't
Damn
move
it.
me.
Damn it, bro. What do you mean? I actually didn't like pay top dollar for his first game in Toronto, bro.
Top
I
dog.
was
I
easy,
didn't-
bro. Nah.
I didn't see
He
you
live up-
first.
He didn't live
I
up
didn't
to
see
the expectations
chorus.
I had from him, bro.
What expectation?
He didn't live up to the expectations I had of him,
Bro,
bro.
the fact that he's still in the NBA is a huge deal for me.
He's what I thought J Huff is right now.
Area. Got it?
I thought he'd be J Huff.
Bro, him and Jay Huff. Yeah, him and Jay Huff are like.
Different.
Nah, they're different.
How are they
Nah,
different?
he's way better
No, I mean,
than
as far as
J-Huff,
as far as caliber goes, yeah, they're like the same motherfucker.
Caliber,
Holy
caliber,
fuck.
caliber.
Yo, this one dude's AFK, bro. Yo, let's kick this guy.
Yo, kick that fucking loser, bro.
How? Oh, couldn't heal you.
You know what?
For what?
You know what? I got no words. I only got actions.
Actions speak louder than
I
words,
got
bro.
go.
I'm dead.
Yeah, no, tell me to the portal already.
Actions speak louder than words, bro.
I'm dead immediately.
You can't
Yeah, don't go through the portal, bro. Just keep jumping in and out, bro. Trust. That's the only way to survive.
What did he hit me with? Yo, what is this?
Yo, what the? Yo, this, he
What
put the
is this
squid through the
memorial?
portal board. Nah, this is fucking, bro.
Seraph, stop helping them with the fucking portal, bro.
The fucking
Yeah, that'd be
5v7,
portals,
bro.
Yo, I think my dream team would be Surf, Range, Emmett as Daredevil,
Moise is
me
Luna
as
Snow.
Wolverine, Moise as Luna Snow, so all as any character.
Danish as any character. That's the dream team right there, bro.
That's not good.
Against 6 bots, bro. I want to see that 6v6. Against 6 hard level bots. Why was that guy? Why did that Venom start speaking French, bro? Oui.
W joke. W joke.
Wait, we won? Oh no, we didn't win.
We didn't win shit, bro.
We're about to win.
We don't even have the first one yet. I'm fucking
There's a fucking
1v1ing
one
this Human Torch finally, bro. Holy man. Now,
I'm dead.
Now let me help the team out.
Bro, there's Namor's playing flank some more.
And what about it?
Ooh, zap him in here.
Who's on this point?
No one. Everybody got off the point to fight Loki, bro.
Yo, low key?
Loki, I should have ulted.
So calm. As
You
if
want ult?
the winds themselves have
I have
been
ult. Let's do it.
Alright, give me.
Okay,
Let me
okay.
be.
Wait, yo, let me ult first.
What?
No, my ult lets you. Actually, ult. My ult lets you reach out. Yeah, Namor's cooking me.
Okay, I'm ulting.
Alright.
What's your ult?
He's Adam Warlock.
That's crazy.
Alright, fuck this.
Oh,
Fuck.
oh,
We
W
just left the
heals.
fucking.
Holy.
Are they? You know what?
I don't know why I went so deep. Okay.
Every picture I take, I pose with that. Me personally.
Are they close the threat, bro?
True. Raffy Taffy, I didn't know you had that in you, bro.
I love how we just put it. The point is all the way back there, bro. All that for
Don't
one.
worry, I got it. I got the point.
Yeah. Why did you die, bro?
Don't worry about that.
You know what? I think maybe I'm gonna give them a portal. Fuck it.
You're gonna give them a portal, bro?
Yeah, bro.
What you-
Get over here, guys.
what do you mean by that?
Get over here, guys.
no longer pose a threat.
Oh, you feel bad for them?
Yeah, give them a portal, bro. They can jump in.
Bro, I think
Yeah,
they're
they're
just,
cooking
I
me.
think they're confused, bro.
They're cooking me. They're cooking me. They're cooking me. They're cooking me. They're cooking me.
Feel the wrath of the fire. Don't turn back now.
They're cooking me handy now.
Shark, where are you, bro? Oh, you fucking bitch. Why didn't the shark ult with me?
I didn't even notice they're hella ulted.
I blocked it.
Vehicle reached a check.
Oh, nice.
Keep up the momentum.
Yeah, bro.
I'm dead. I'm not. W's really.
Yeah, fuck this guy, bro.
We are family.
Don't run away now. Don't. Stop running away, pussy. Yeah.
Triple kill. That's 3.
Let's go, Raffy Taffy.
Yo, where's point? Like, please.
On camp these guys, Raffy Taffy. Yo.
Oh,
Someone died. RJ died. Okay, we lost someone. Okay, we lost a couple people. Let's go back.
You said retreat? Okay. Okay.
As a group leader, bro.
that's not good.
Your powers are mine!
Shark, bro. All one
Found a
time.
safe place.
Nah, fuck this guy.
Oh, bro, I'm stuck.
Oh, you're actually
oh my
a
God,
bitch,
I'm
bro.
stuck. Oh no, I'm not stuck.
Yeah, after my ult ended, that's actually like stupid, bro. Why is everybody on this shit? Saying yo, Alan, bro. It's because you're not on. That's why everybody's on.
You can't strike down
So
a
also said
goddess.
nuke the bod.
There's
Damn,
no way
she got
that
it all
happened.
off. Oh, this guy dunked on me. Oh, I'm back.
Such strict speed is
How come I didn't come back?
happy to help.
I canceled their res.
Do that.
No.
Yeah.
Lame. fuck. Oh, hell no. Surf, I'll do something about that.
Yo, fan that, broski.
That's not what I wanted you to do, bro.
It didn't work.
He cooked everybody.
It didn't work.
What the fuck are you cooking,
He
bro?
cooked everyone.
Storm clouds gather.
Yo, does Namor have a team over Hella?
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Okay, that shit's busted.
Vehicle moving again.
I guess therefore, do we have a,
Nah, I used the.
These beasts have come to defend their king.
You used it to do that shit, bro.
Enemy in and keeping is good here.
oh, he is.
Oh, look who it is.
Oh, I got cooked. Oh, look who it is.
Johnny, no.
Are you about to lose this guy?
Yeah.
Nah.
No. Maybe.
Somebody started selling.
L heals.
I agree. Oh, heal me, bro. Heal me, bro.
Come on, Ricky, bro. Alright. Alright.
Come back.
Get that vehicle moving again.
Just the boost I need.
Why is this Norton longer than my ranked games? What?
We don't lose this quick.
Oh, I was wondering if after you stop hate watching. I know that works.
Hell no.
So, what do you think about mental health awareness?
Oh my god.
I tried to heal you, bro.
Does it matter for who, bro?
Well, I mean, like, how do you solve mental health? Like, is that what you're asking me?
No, like, what do you think about mental health awareness? I never asked.
What do you mean? Everyone, bro, it's not 1993, bro. Everyone knows mental health matters.
Everyone's? Does Amit's mental health matter?
Let's go.
No.
Is Amit not part of everybody?
Sorry?
Is Amit not part of everybody?
Nah, he's not a human. He's a subhuman.
Down to 30 seconds.
I know
I'm
it's like it's hard news to take. I know. I understand that. Like, don't get wrong. Don't get me wrong. But like,
But the healers suck.
some people don't deserve
Do we
rights.
not have any
Well, these
healers?
healers fucking suck, bro.
Alright, okay.
We're dead, I can't lie.
Yo, someone go on the point and just stall. Just stall, bro. Get on. Someone stall, bro.
We're all dead except for Emmett, bro.
Stall, bro. Please.
Emmett's
No, I'm
like,
dead.
yeah, he just died.
Or Emmett's gonna clutch it
Sorry,
up,
I was
right?
spectating. Our truck just died. Okay, he got the OT. He got the OT.
Have a winner.
Ooh, touch.
I'm going the long way. I'm going the long way.
Oh,
Oh my god!
Turbo, stop holding me.
That is crazy.
Okay, I got two of them.
No, we're doing this.
You know?
Going after me.
I will not make the same mistakes.
Fight him.
Yo, guys, Venom's trying to solo me.
I got you.
Hey, man, I'm trying to swallow you. Sign me
Your
up.
powers are mine.
Oh, hell no. That's fuck.
No, I didn't get it in time. Fuck.
Don't worry. You have a Jeff.
That's supposed to be
Yes.
reassuring.
Good shit, Jeff.
You're the real art.
I'm still gonna die, Jeff.
Oh my god. Okay.
I got you.
Feel the wrath of the goddess.
Got Loki.
Loki's dead. Nice.
Venom
Nice.
in.
Holy fuck, bro.
Claude locked in.
All because of the portal.
Yeah, the portal, bro.
Yeah, bro. Oh wait, I mean, I got MVP, bro. What the fuck?
Gumbits, he's back.
Let's go.
Let's make a name for himself with this one.
Yeah.
This guy Justin just never showed up, bro.
We're just slowly adding people.
Except for Justin.
Yeah. What if we get enough people for 5v5 and just don't touch out them, bro?
Could be crazy, bro.
Justin would hate us forever.
I'm not judging.
He was online earlier and I told him no, I'm good.
Yeah, that was before he said a small dinner break. I'll be back in 9:15. And he never came back.
He's at Nobu right now, chill. Fuck it, bro. 5 DPS. Let's go for it.
Okay.
I tear
But-
through cloudless night, just like
Is this why you bro?
Sorry?
Is this why you were on a losing streak?
I was on a losing streak because my teammates are subhumans. I was like,
Dashboard, unleash, burst of.
Yo, can we get another
30
DPS?
seconds before you attack. Get ready.
We gotta tell,
Yo, can we get another DPS? Who's this guy talking?
they got a mic.
Who's this guy talking to?
Today, we're on the same side.
Stop reading 3rd grade level, thanks.
So I can always depend on you to brighten up the mood.
3,
What are we doing, guys?
You gonna hear him?
capture the mission area. Got it?
But I can't hear you.
It's okay, that's gonna be important.
Yo, our Phil is about to quit. I swear to God. She hasn't. Oh, no, that's fun.
She's first time in Rogue, it's fine.
Alright, guys, we got
Whoa,
this.
buddy. I'm gonna die.
They have Gumbit?
Oh shit,
Oh,
there's
guys,
a
play
Daredevil
super
on me.
aggressive.
Play super aggressive. We have like 5 healers.
Yeah.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
I'm waiting for Sabo to engage.
I'm on the point, buddy. No, I'm playing the game properly, I think.
Got it?
How the fuck did we get the point? What the fuck?
Cause it's me, bro.
Ready?
I'm the one that's paying attention, bro. It's okay, bro.
Sabo,
I'm gonna
unless
carry, I
we're
think.
losing.
That's because I was distracting them.
We're not gonna lose when I'm on the team, bro. We're gonna lose because you're on the team. I agree with that, yeah.
Got you there, bro.
Oh, I'm asking for heals and we have no healer.
Yeah, we have no healers, bro. You better learn what the health packs are, buddy.
I don't know where the,
get
I'm
ready to-
looking for. What is the health packs, bro? I'm looking.
I'm taking all of them, buddy. It's okay, bro. We'll bring passive. I'm never gonna die, right?
I'm exploring parts of this map I've never explored before, man. So the map,
Are you guys playing TDM, or do you not know that like, you're supposed to like come to the phone?
If these walls could talk.
Oh,
where the
buddy.
health packs at? I literally went to. I took their health packs, though.
You needed that one on 1
Took
HP,
there,
bro.
yo, I don't think they got rights to the health packs, bro.
More than half of the
Report Amit. Alright, time to first time healer, I think. Got you guys.
Deport Emmett?
Yeah, we might as well, bro.
Okay, got you guys, bro. First time being a healer. Who's the easiest one, Jeff? Fuck it.
Yeah, sure, bro.
Oh my god, I'm getting jumped! I'm getting jumped!
All heals.
Me and Henny, Henny's full HP, bro. I got you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
No, I'm already. I need it. Oh, we lost point, guys.
Yeah, I tried my
Hey, bro,
best,
first time he
guys.
heals, bro. Come on.
The Sabo effect.
Alright, you're
Yo, where's our portal, bro?
AFK, bro.
Yo, hurry up with this portal, bro. I don't got all day.
Evan, I got you, bro. You're gonna win this.
Yo, where the fuck are these guys?
Evan's like watching me die instead of like helping me. Let's go. I'm gonna help him for sure, bro.
Yeah, this shit is fucked, bro.
Whoa, what the fuck? Huh?
Wait, what?
Did you see that?
Yeah, bro. What the hell just happened?
What happened? I was so confused. What happened?
You're confused. I'm confused.
The whole team is dead. These are all taking
Wait,
air.
why do we have another team? Fuck?
Damn, he left. No, what?
What are you talking about?
Rapid
Look at
playing
me first time healer, bro. I don't play
Bro,
this
because
role.
we needed a portal, bro. What do you mean, why do we have another tank?
We don't need a portal, bro.
Exactly, that's why we needed one, bro. Because we did need one. Yo, you better eat with that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh shit!
I got one pick.
Let's go.
That's big, that's big.
Hey, man.
That's their only tank,
Hey,
that's their
man.
only tank. That's their ace and their only tank, bro.
Thank you, Manir.
Hey, can my bitch get some help?
Yo, everybody cloak and dagger.
I got you, bro. I got you. I'm healing you. I'm healing you, shit.
Yo, get this Daredevil.
Get his ass Emmett. Get his ass Emmett. Get the ass Emmett.
bro.
Tell him the real.
Finally, bro.
I'll show him a real double.
Yo, Raffy, how
This
you
healer
won it?
shit
How
is
you
easy,
won it
bro.
too, bro?
The fuck?
Rafi?
This guy switched to Squirrel Girl. I've never seen a Squirrel Girl before. Yeah, guy just spamming his fucking R2. Kicks a ledge. Starfall, bro.
I died, guys.
My fault.
It's okay, it's okay. What the hell is happening?
Yeah, yo, you might be.
Points I can ult them.
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner.
Yeah, we could really use a portal right now.
What was that? That's not good.
Oh, I'm out this bitch. I'm out this bitch. I'm out this bitch. I'm out this bitch.
Yo, chill, bro. She's coming.
Yo, chill.
Pretty much to get an actual game app.
Got her, got her. The great ult.
That's crying, bro. We're winning the game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, zoning all.
My heel.
Ooh,
My,
this shit.
Okay. Gumbit and Hella are still
My
up there,
bad.
bro.
my Munda's trying to like steal kills from my magic, bro. Shut up. That's what I have to see, bro.
We about to lose?
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Y'all need to get on
no.
point.
Yeah, Henry touch point, Henry touch point, Henry touch
Y'all need
point.
to get on point.
Let's go. Oh, shit.
Aw, shit.
You forgot the stay alive part.
It's going. I'm his MVP, so we're gonna win. Trust.
Yeah.
Never playing healer again. This was too hard.
I think Surfel should change characters again. I think that'll help us.
Surfer, I think you're muted, bro.
He's locked in, bro. He's locked in.
He's logged in, bro.
He's logged in. Like he has a password of his account. I can tell you that much.
Before you attack, get ready.
Need healing. Yo, I feel tired, bro. Yeah, nobody heal. Nobody heal. Yeah. That's what we need.
We can do this, go heal this. I have faith.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, these guys are pretty ass, honestly.
I tear through the
So how did I say something you didn't like?
Wait, hold on. Yo, Surfall, can you portal?
Yeah, I mean, every time you open your fucking mouth, I hate it. You
You guys, portal.
of all that is a bit too much.
Why is this guy diving out solo, bro? Is this guy a noob or what?
He's playing like you.
There's no team. I agree.
Yo, kill these people.
Hello.
Yeah, I did not know which side we were going into. That's there.
Get ready to learn health pack, buddy. It's the portal's fault, bro. To be honest.
No. The portal is vital, bro.
We have no healer, bro. We're not gonna win the game.
I'm contesting.
Yeah, have fun dying in 3 seconds.
I think Rafi
Yeah, I'm
Taffy
dead.
just needs to get more kills, honestly. That's like the main thing.
Do you know how many dimes he has with his portals?
Yeah, 0.
Hi guys.
Or you meant for the other team?
Just
Yeah, which team are you talking about?
Alright boys, let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it, guys. Oh yeah, no, the motion stopped us.
we're about to like. I think this is gonna be the most embarrassing loss so far.
Okay, we gotta heal
Oh,
her
I'm out this
now.
bitch. I'm out this bitch. Fuck. Oh, no.
It's okay, we gotta heal her, bro.
Watch over me.
He's gonna heal himself. That's it. Okay, bro. I got.
Oh yeah, our Phil left.
We're gonna someone else.
That's our teammate, bro.
Our captain, bro. He left us. He abandoned us.
Punishers down.
Okay, bro. Watch this dive, chat. And a lock in.
Watch this drive.
Yo, kill this Star-Lord guy.
Damn, what are you doing, bro?
Fuck.
How's he still alive?
No, he's
No, you're healing.
trolling me, bro.
Oh, I got killed.
Can you not
Get around the point.
Yo, we have Victor now. Oh shit.
Ricardo?
Poor
Everyone's
guy.
molesting me. Emerson is letting me
Come
die
on.
and shit.
I mean, I'm in spawn.
AFK as always.
Yo, I'm in their spawn. I'm gonna spawn trap them. You guys just start killing them, and then I'll take the rest.
Yeah, got you, bro. My fault. My F was down like 1 second.
Every day to make amends.
Yeah,
Still
alright,
Gambit
hold on.
ult?
We can get this real quick, bro. Don't even worry, bro.
Still Gambit ult?
Gambit.
Gumbit?
With Gambit, we don't have a Gambit.
Are you like
They have
retarded
a
or are you
Gambit,
just like
bro.
trolling?
Let's go.
You wanna use it or like
I used it. What are you talking?
Oh, dude, it just didn't work for me, I guess. You're, I think you just hate it. Let's get rid of all, bro. We can win.
Okay, someone switch to healer.
I'm the healer, bro. I got healer. I got healer. Trust, bro. Trust, bro.
Alright, everyone healer. Everyone healer now. Let's switch it up. Switch it up. Switch it up. They're not gonna see it. They're not gonna see it coming. They're not gonna see it coming.
Yeah, they're literally not gonna see it coming because the game's gonna end by the time we get there.
Chill. I'm clutching it. I'm clutching up. Shit.
Somebody heal
You
that
guys are
man.
coming. I got you. I got you.
No, no heals, no heals, no heals. Al heals.
Still bottom shit?
Come back. Come back. I'm revving.
Damn.
No.
That was close. That was close, guys.
Unlucky, bro. The portals were close.
We did better than that thing. Yo, fucking, yo, Victor sold.
Yo, Salvaging sucks.
Bro. Yeah, bro.
Oh shit, I wasn't even looking at Sabo.
Someone healed our first round, bro. It doesn't count.
That was the only healer when he fucking pulled up with Jeff, bro. It's like a movie, bro.
400 healing.
Shit, you almost caught up to Victor, bro. That's actually fucked.
That's insane. Alright, this is my last.
Yo, Justin's hopping on soon, bro.
He's literally coming out right now, bro. Holy shit.
Justin Bridge.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Your pooper flag 40 ball.
League's done.
Pooper fag?
Okay, Sabo. Sabo, I need you to go off. Tell me.
Hey man, I need you to suck my dick to completion. How does that sound?
I don't know, bro.
Put that on your Pornhub Wrapped.
Define completion.
When I say you're done.
So when is that?
Only one way to
When
find
he
out,
sucks.
right?
Euphoria, bro.
Only one way to find
Nirvana,
out.
bro. When he reaches
Yo,
Nirvana.
what is this map?
Central Park, man.
It's a good map.
This is
30
Brampton. What are you
seconds before
saying?
you attack. Get ready.
Welcome
Doesn't
to
look like
Brampton.
Caribbeans and the brown mans. Your Civic is matte black.
You come on, high elo, high testosterone
Suicide
magic.
doors.
Come to the fucking spawn. No, he also have backline as
Battle
magic.
starts in
Nice, bro.
4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I'm dead.
I'm gonna try to you, bro.
Nah, I saw that. I appreciate you.
The fuck am I dropping frames?
Oh, no. Don't tell me there's a portal coming, bro.
With Magneto? Oh shit, they updated it, right?
Yo, dude, why the fuck is there Iron Fist on the point here?
He's
How
high
did I
elo.
die?
Fuck, high elo, high testosterone.
Yo, come back, come back, come back, come back. Push him.
I missed that hook. That fucking spike.
Who's behind?
Guys. There's like 5 of them.
Magneto's weak.
I'm dead. You guys don't have a healer right now?
Healer dead?
How did I get ults?
Oh, nobody's alive.
Bro, how much do they nerf Jeff, bro? This character play is so different.
Yeah, you might have to learn the healer, buddy.
Guys? We're just giving up
We're
here?
going to give this. We're all dying one by one.
Okay.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
I'm only following Salvaging for the rest of the...
Oh, it's double
Why are
on
you
the
spawn
way.
camping them, bro?
On, can't be when we're losing. Nice guys.
Hey, yo, portal.
Stop that vehicle.
Yo, I'm gonna walk down.
Guys, we're waiting on the portal.
Yeah, how do I get out of here? Go the other way.
Bro, what is
Oh,
this?
shit.
Bro, what
Where
is
did the door
this?
come from, bro?
What is this, bro?
Where did that door come from?
Where did that
Guys,
door come? Yo, you're actually throwing that.
What is this? No! You gotta believe me, the drones put it up, bro.
Yeah, we believe you, bro.
I'm on point.
Their jet just altered like 5 people and shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I
Oh, we
just
had
walked
5
into like a
people in there,
little
bro?
bug.
Oh, it was just you two. Never mind. It's not.
Bro, he grabbed me.
Bro, get this iron fist off my balls, body, and dick. Oh.
I killed him.
Officer, please, harassment.
LOL.
Oh, fuck. Gotta play up a hammock, bro. My fault. Not locked in, man.
Oh, hell no.
Definitely not throwing on purpose so hammock loses. It's definitely not happening.
Holy shit, he's gonna throw that thing at me. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm dead. Iron Fist about to fist me. No. Iron Fist couldn't fist me. I fisted him. Damn.
How can I walk up?
Pent up
I forgot I don't
sexual
know
aggression.
I lie?
Ooh, Sabo got a kill. Sabo's about to go off. Do it some Sabo.
You guys moving different, bro. Who's that?
Who's that?
Oh, Hammer just, I had to leave them for Hammer, bro. I don't want you to kill us, bro. My fault.
Oh, I got swallowed. Oh, not this again. I already it, bro. Oh my god. He's taking us into spawn. He took me into spawn. This is the second time I die like this.
Embarrassing.
There's no way. There's not again.
Yo, we need another portal.
I don't got another portal in me, man. You don't got another portal, dog? Nah. That's your thing. I got this. It didn't work. It didn't work. I lost. It didn't work. It didn't work. He ulted? I need to stun the fuck out of me. Oh. Yo, why is there an Iron Fist here?
You got it, right? You got it, right?
Kill me.
Oh, he killed you.
You said portal?
Yo, can we kill Harris 2014, bro?
Yeah, you have a portal?
He has a portal.
You have a portal. You have a portal. Alright, let's go. What the
Bro, why is it so hot?
Yeah!
Team?
I'm dead. Horrible portal.
I gotta stop taking your portals, man. Oh, big. Kill me.
I'm not gonna lie, I also revved you.
Oh, did we kill Gambit before we can get his ult? Oh no. Nope. I got grabbed. Nope. No, that didn't work at all.
Hey, you're fucked there, buddy. Yo, I'm fucked too. Oh, shit.
We're gonna fuck tonight. We're gonna fuck tonight.
Get this guy off of me, bro.
Guys, oh, this guy left.
Oh, we lost a teammate, bro. Fuck.
I mean, we didn't even need him. Yeah, he was kind of showing. Alright, what's the plan here, guys? I have an idea.
It is.
Yo, Iron Fist in the spawn.
I have an idea.
Fuck me up. Get this guy. Yeah, fuck this guy. Thank you.
Where'd this guy
Get
go?
my fucking revenge, bro.
I'm not blind. Oh, there it is. Alright.
Oh, hell no. Oh, they're all maxing? They're all maxing?
Oh, shit.
What that only gonna mean?
Oh, that's not
Save
good.
my fucking bitch ass life. Remember, I'm dead anyway.
Oh, have a team.
Hold on, bro. The comeback of the season, bro. Holy fuck.
All right, we gotta hold this for 3 minutes, guys. We got this.
Plus overtime.
Back up, back up, back up, back up. You guys are worried. The Iron Fist.
Man, shut up, bro.
Iron Fist coming to fist post.
All right, then deal with it, bro.
I bet.
I got passive shit. Or Spider Kevin is coming, bro. We gotta lock in.
Gumbit. Ah! Oh, he stole my health pack. No, I'm dead.
What I told you? Oh shit, that's not
Yo,
good.
Iron Fist is flanking. He's here.
I'm dead, bro.
Yeah, it's over.
It's not over, bro. It ain't over yet. Oh yeah, it's over now.
Get on the point, bro. Get on the point, Linear. Get on the point, Linear.
Hey, yo, wait, hold on. Spider.
It's not like I was gonna get a
Spider
solo
Convene, bro. This motherfucking Spider Convene ain't do shit, bro.
Oh, bro, this guy fucking sucks.
Spider Convene is crazy. Yeah, I've had better games.
It's all that's what accountability sounds like.
I mean, I'm trying to lose every game on purpose when you're on my team. Do you not realize that?
Even
I'm
when
like all teams that are spawning shit.
Even when he's watching your Twitch stream, bro.
Yeah, but he's doing that even when he's playing ranking.
Oh fuck, that's supposed to be the last one.
That was your last one.
Alright.
Nah, chill,
Spider
bro.
Kevin's in this one, bro.
Spider Kaveen, bro.
Spider Kaveen. Spider Kavin's in this one, bro.
Yo, they got-
It's
they got-
Spider Convene still with.
Nah, bro.
Oh fuck,
Yo,
a
they
yearning,
got
man.
Alan on the other team, though. Alan's on the other team.
Guys, I can be healer if we need a healer. Oh, never mind.
We got a yearning
Never mind,
man.
I'm no longer healer. He took Gumbit.
I don't think you're ever healing, bro.
Valid. Alright, me and Sabo DPS, let's do it.
Yeah. Me and Gambit DPS, I think, is what's actually gonna happen here.
It's okay, I'm gonna drop like 20 kills. We're gonna win, trust.
Let's go.
Damn, you guys patched it up so quickly.
You know what sarcasm is?
Clearly
Damn,
don't.
he had me. I can believe them.
You see that Doomsday leak?
Are you portaling?
Oh, that apparently Liam Payne's in there, right?
The fuck did you just say?
Liam Payne's in Doomsday.
Liam Payne? Liam Payne?
Yeah.
No, you know what?
Doomsday.
My song is in that, Valhalla. Me and Minnie finished the demo last night, or 2 days
Oh
ago.
yeah. Oh, say this.
Yeah, it's dropping soon, bro.
Big track, big track.
To my friend
Yeah,
Liam Payne.
I just want you to know, I would never let Krakoa step for the same fate as Ganosha. Don't
Where
ever
you going,
forget
bro?
that.
We got a portal coming, man.
Fuck, man.
My fault. My fault, demons. Portal of the season, bro. I can already feel it.
Oh,
Oh, fuck, this is actually clutch.
Wait, where the fuck are we? Is this their spawn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why do we portal here?
I have like
I got
5 more
flash.
stuns.
This is a horrible spawn.
that's uncooked me. I'm never taking this guy's portal.
Bro, it was the greatest portal I ever seen, bro. We just molested their Magneto. Not even that bad.
Not even that bad. Everybody's dying, bro.
Yeah, on their team.
Ooh. I watch the flank.
Bro, we were the flank.
Nice, nice.
We are Charlie Kirk.
We are Charlie Kirk.
The Jordan was kind of tough, bro. Listen to the earlier today. Charlie Kirk.
What the fuck is hitting me?
Kirky. I just bought the perky.
Oh, she ulted already?
My Punisher just dropped a turn in the middle of fucking nowhere. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Don't run, bozo. Alan? Alan?
We're gonna get ulted. Let's get ulted, bro. Let's get ulted. It's airtime and shit. I did that for fun.
Yo, Gambit is sick.
Yeah,
I'll never look at cool stuff.
once Rafi gets a kill, bro, it's actually over for us.
Surfer, what's been up with you today?
That's a crazy way to put
What are you
it.
talking about?
Yeah, they're portaling, bro. I think they're portaling.
They're definitely
No, they're not
bro.
portaling, bro.
They're not smart. They're
I can
not,
feel it in my
they're not
cotton balls.
3,000 IQ players, bro. They don't know what to do, bro.
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
Have
fuck
fun.
that.
Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe.
Fuck all that.
Stay safe, y'all. Stay safe.
Except for the same fate as Inosha, bro.
That's cool.
Got him.
And no love.
She's 1 HP. Nice.
Guys.
Control seized.
That volt.
That's great, man.
Is our MVP? Turfa?
Close.
Good snipe.
You captured more than half of the mission area.
Yeah, let's go to the spawn, bro. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
this is proper. We gotta just prevent the portal. That's where I have to go.
Cause she ulted
Taking
fuck.
everything. She's taking everything.
They got fucked up. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, how's she taking? Oh, she taking my ult charge.
Yeah.
That's part of her
Trailer,
kit.
bro?
Are you new here, bro?
Who's touching me like without consent?
Oh, I wish it was me.
Why do I like it?
Yo, Rafi, turn around, bro.
Yo, I think he took 3 edibles before this game.
That was Joseph, bro.
I think that's what he's doing right now, bro.
Oh, Charlie Kirky. Oh, I just.
Hey, can we get a portal?
Hey, can you get a portal, bro? Oh, he's in the battlefield, bro. He's deep in the battlefield right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm so ungrateful. I should on this guy's portal with ass.
Bro, honestly, at this point, bro, you're just gonna take the portal and complain about it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm ungrateful, bro.
You just make your own portal at that point.
Oh, this guy's getting fucked up.
Why not the Jeff?
Yo,
fuck
guys,
the
can
neck.
you not get fucked up here? That's fuck.
Yo, we have a good lead, bro. We have a good lead, bro. Let's throw it all the way.
Okay.
You?
Assist.
Thank you.
Everyone go tank. It's the only way to win. Oh, should we all hit by that?
I'm dead.
No, you're on the other side of the map. You're fine.
This guy's stupid.
Yeah, he went the
He's
whole
doing a
way.
health pack. Dumbass Jeff. Alright, good shit.
Yo, Justin replied.
Doesn't said what you say.
Demon home.
Demon home.
Today, the age of Ultron begins.
Yo,
Yo.
I have to listen to Valhalla again, bro. I forget how it goes. Trolling.
30 seconds before you attack.
You said you fell
Get
off.
ready.
I had someone tell me I fell off. I didn't need that. That was very rude.
They said I fell off from not Liam Payne.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Said I fell off from my video. Pain. Said I fell off from
all
my
you need to
video.
do is
Pain.
capture
Said
the
I fell
mission
off from my
area.
video.
Got it?
Looks like rest and relaxation ain't in the cards no more. Ultron Darkness reinforcement.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. We captured the mission area!
Oh no, that could call herself the same shit as good on shit.
Okay, then.
Just solo ult and Star-Lord, bro.
Yo, fuck this guy. Never mind, he survived.
That's crazy.
He had a healer.
Oh, hell no.
He missed. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, y'all be easy.
Control lost.
Come over here.
I said I fell off my Liam Payne.
Who's this guy
Oh.
ulting, bro?
We got 7 ults, bro. Let's do a movie. Can I get a portal?
Is Venom on
Can I
me?
just get a portal?
Portaling? You guys are dying.
I got you, bro. I got you.
I'm dead.
Your team's capture progress.
I got you. It's over content, bro. Trust
Where are
me.
these fucking heals, bro?
The whole team is dead, bro.
Why is the whole team separated?
Because they all died. Let's do some deductive reasoning here. Gotta save his teammate and my bitch ass life. Who was Venom like this? Does anyone know? Okay, okay. I'm winning. I'm winning. All those rings with the hairline thinning.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, go off.
Come
Go
on.
off, Sabo. Never mind.
I died to sound like all even though I'm not even in this radius. Said I fell off on all Liam Payne.
Somebody get this fucking
It's
Venom,
made.
bro.
Itch made. Bro pain.
Holy.
Oh,
There's a portal coming.
The portal coming.
The portal's coming. The portal's coming.
The portal coming.
Demon coming. Oh, shit.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Not gonna lie, that was a game-winning portal. What's the point?
You captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
I hate this little rat, bro.
Payno. Payno. I didn't see the dreams you chase, bro.
Where are these guys?
Venom no E. Liam Payne no life.
Oh?
Literally.
I can feel the portal in my cock and balls, guys.
I'm dead.
Damn, and he led you solo ult him.
Fuck that
I
guy.
got solo ulted by the Jeff, bro. I'm gonna crash out.
But just funny as fuck for that.
Did we ever get a portal?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
wait, it expired, bro. It expired, bro. You missed it.
Oh, shit, bro. I was too busy building.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have
Or I'm gonna live forever. Holy shit.
Get the fucking
man.
Venom.
Holy shit. No Jeff ult, no Venom ult, I think.
This guy lied to me.
Everyone. I said I think, bro. You got it back like 3 seconds, bro.
What about the Star-Lord ult, bro? That's what I'm worried about right now.
Manifesting it? Okay.
His timing is crazy. Okay, bro.
He's 1 HP?
Got
Okay.
him. I got him.
Venom no E. Venom no longer alive. Cloak and dagger in the rave.
Adrenaline momentum.
That was one.
Yay.
I miss Kaveen.
Spider
Shaw?
Kaveen.
Spider Kaveen.
Oh.
Kaveen Shaw too, bro. Yeah, I miss him too, bro.
Yeah. What about Mark Online, bro?
Mark Online, yo, fuck that guy, bro.
Yo, Arjun, bro, did you see the news?
What news?
Big news, bro. How'd you miss it?
Yeah, I saw it, bro.
Come on, bro. It's like big tech news.
Yeah, I saw it, bro. I'm very well aware.
You don't know what it is, bro.
No, I don't.
Bro, Cosmic hit 500 monthly active.
What the fuck is Cosmic? Oh, is that Chairman Jay starting up?
Yeah.
Yo, honestly, good for him. 500 active users.
That's
Big deal.
crazy, yeah.
Shout out. Chairman Jay, he left.
Why'd he leave, bro?
I think he's done.
I left too, by the way.
Yeah, but you didn't leave the Discord. You left the game. This guy left the Discord, but you didn't leave the game. I'm confused.
Are we not done?
I don't know. Are we
Just getting started.
I'm okay done.
Alright, then get the fuck out of the lobby.
Yeah, Snapchat gave me a recap.
Yeah, everything
Snapchat gave me a 2025 recap.
Everything's giving you a recap.
You Snap.
Bro.
You're pushing 30 using Snapchat, bro.
Pushing 30.
Aren't you older than me?
By what? 6 months? 6-7 months? Fuck. 6-7.
All bros. Getting close to that time.
Bro, I got a coworker who's
Time for
obsessed
what?
with 6-7, bro.
Time for
Yeah,
marriage.
shit every day.
Alright, so Hall, bro.
Yeah, for you, maybe, bro.
You gotta get back on the grind, bro. I still can't play comp with you. You're silver 2 now, bro? That's actually fucked, bro.
MS Stream Chat means shit, bro. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, bro. Damn it, bro. You didn't read the no backseating rule, bro?
My fault, man.
And it was like backseating, but like it wasn't even helpful backseating.
No, I wasn't even backseating though. I was just like
Rage baiting because you have no friends.
Yo, listen, I got my favorite
So
clip
yes?
out of any Twitch stream from that stream.
What clip did you get?
I got you. I got you.
Yo, Emmett, kill yourself right now.
Here we go. That's my favorite clip.
I'll say that in real life, bro. It's fine. My clip. How'd you even get that recording, bro? I have no VODs.
But I clipped it.
By the time I get deleted, bro. How'd you make a clip? I have clips on? What showed me?
What?
Yeah, how do I make an appeal to Twitch?
I don't know, bro. Figure it out, huh?
Where's the clip?
Wait a minute, did you not appeal your ban?
No, I just waited.
You just waited it?
Yeah, bro.
What ban?
I thought it was lifetime ban.
Nah, bro.
Oh, you're a shadow ban?
It was a global chat ban, bro. Shadow ban. Don't. It wasn't a lifetime ban, bro.
Oh, it ain't like a chat ban, but I thought it was a lifetime chat ban.
No, bro.
Yeah, Emmett thinks he's gonna keep this clip alive, bro. Already deleted, pal.
No, I got it in my personal vault.
Nice AI, nice chat
Personal
GPT.
vault, bro. Yo, what else is in there, buddy?
What else is in that goon folder?
Don't ask him about the missing boys from Alberta.
Yo, chat live listen party to Valhalla. Thoughts?
They said I fell off
I'm
another
leaving.
campaign.
Yeah. Good night, yo.
Damn.
This guy Sahal started talking about like previewing his music. I gotta leave.
Damn, yeah.
Damn, yeah.
It's okay, bro. I'm gonna switch up on you guys too, don't worry.
Bro, remember to switch up on your day ones. It's very important.
Yeah,
on day
don't
one.
support small businesses.
Yeah, like unironically though, don't support them. Go to your local Walmart.
Yeah, this guy Justin's not coming, bro.
He's gonna join the second I turn my game off. Which is right now. Set it out.
Alright, well.
Roofies and fluconazole.
Roofies and fluconazole. Yo, where did you even procure that kind of arrangement of materials, bro?
I don't even know where that came from. The words of Aries Spears? I don't even know what that is.
Remember when Emmett was 0 and 9, bro? Good times, good times.
And he was like typing to me and shit. Yeah. Go.
I fell off, I'm not really in pain.
I'm like rage baiting because like, I mean, who even knows why? I was like one game off of gold, bro. These people, man.
So close.
I think I played like one or 2 fights a game wrong, at most. But like, it can't be real what I was seeing. Okay, bro. We deleted Amit's clip. He is never getting any free clout.
It's in the chat.
But how many more
CTE
guys?
specialists. The channel on Discord.
Yo, Amit, kill yourself right now, please. CTE specialists. Yeah, are you not a mod in this, bro? Remove it. Report message. I don't like it.
I'm not a mod, bro. Only Guggen's a mod.
Fuck.
I was trying to say you're breaking TOS, bro. This guy might be moving like a little Israeli, bro.
I don't know the exact reaction I gotta add to this then.